Today we're going to talk about how to solve a literal equation. And a literal equation is an equation that has multiple variables. So normally we'll just see one or two, and literal equations have several. And so the first step is I like to flip the equation so that the variable that we are solving for is on the left. We want it to be on the left-hand side. So as you can see over here in example 1, it says A equals LWH, which, as you probably know, is the formula for area. Area equals length times width times height. And they want us to solve for H. Well, I want my H in that case to be on the left side. So all I'm going to do is rewrite that LWH equals A. I didn't change anything. I just switched the order of those. And I can do that because of the commutative property. So, for example, if I have 5 times 2 equals 10. That's the same thing as 10 equals 5 times 2. It doesn't change the value of our equation at all. And the next step is going to be to move all of the other terms to the right. And we are going to do that using the inverse operations. So in order to use the inverse operations, we're going to do the opposite. If we have multiplication, in order to undo it, we're going to divide. If we have addition, in order to undo it, we will subtract, and vice versa is true also. So as you can see, all of these variables are right next to each other, and anytime in math we have variables right next to each other, that means that we are multiplying. So there's invisible multiplication in here that is just understood. So in order to undo that, the inverse of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide by L in order to get rid of that L, and I'm going to divide by W to cancel out the middle W. And I have to do the same thing on the right side also. Okay, so L divided by L is 1. Anything divided by itself gives us 1. 100 divided by 100 is 1. 7 divided by 7 is 1. And so those are going to cancel out. Same thing with W divided by W. And I end up with H equals A divided by LW. And I know that I'm finished. I don't have any like terms that I can combine. I don't have anything else that I can simplify. So that is going to be my final answer. Sometimes there is one more step. If there had been a coefficient over here with this h, we would have needed to multiply or divide to get rid of that coefficient. Generally, we are going to divide by the coefficient. Okay, so on the next example, you can see we have 4x minus 2y equals 8, and we're solving for y, so we don't need to flip our equation because the y is already on the left. So what I want to do next is I need to move this 4x here to the right side. I need to move it over to isolate the y. So the opposite of positive 4x is going to be negative 4x or minus 4x. Okay? 4x minus 4x is 0. That is going to cancel out. And I have negative 2y left over. It's important to remember this minus or negative, it has to go down here with this 2y. It doesn't disappear just because we canceled out our 4x. And then I'm always going to want to put my variable first down here. So I'll have negative 4x plus 8. Okay. And then the only thing that I have left over here touching my y is this negative 2, and that's multiplication. The coefficient is being multiplied by the y, so I need to divide both sides by negative 2. It's important to remember on the right-hand side, I have to divide both of those terms by negative 2, not just one of them. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1, so I end up with 1y equals negative 4 divided by negative 2 is positive 2x, and then 8 divided by negative 2 is going to give me negative 4. And that will be my final answer.